Hello, this is Angelo, and we are here with April's Life Coaching Masterclass. And this month's subject is the method 5 by 5 to always thrive. Consider this as a consolidation of all the little pieces of success that I've shared with you in the past few months and a way for you to get even more clarity and energy. More on that to come in just a few minutes' time. First of all, I want to thank you for being here and congratulate you for being here. You know by now how easy it is to get distracted, and of course, not only distracted, but also derailed from your ideal vision. Also, you want to congratulate yourself because just by being here, you demonstrate to yourself that you do not negotiate your vision and you're doing all it takes to bridge the gap between where you are and where you want to go. Now, you want to turn off at least all your notifications, definitely not your phone if you're watching from it, but turn off all notifications and all reasons to get distracted for the next 30 minutes or so. I want you to feel that in this world it is just you and me, so that we can focus entirely on what we will be discussing here. And yes, you are welcome to take notes, but also you will be having the replay at your disposal if you prefer to focus entirely on what we will be discussing here. Last but not least, I want to remind you that we have crossed a point of no return, meaning that the only outcome that you allow in your consciousness is you landing happily and safely at your desired destination. No turning back. How do you feel? The question that I begin each and every masterclass with, and the question that you want to ask yourself many times during the day, simply because the better you feel, the better the quality of your life is right now, and also the more energy you have towards achieving whatever it is that you want to achieve. More on that in a few minutes' time. It will be a big part of today's conversation. And I also want to remind you that we have set our thermostat here to the happy and unstoppable state because this is the only way to have the energy it takes to achieve something that is out right now of our sphere of potentiality. You need that energy. And by now, you might already feel that you're running out of gas, you're running on fumes. It is April, and if you had some failures, or if you've had some rejections, or if you've had some disappointments that you didn't handle properly or easily and effortlessly, then what happens? You feel that you're exhausted. You feel that you don't have the drive, the energy. I don't want to say the motivation because I just want to take a time out here. I've had the idea the other day. I feel that I am the world's first demotivational speaker, meaning that if you don't, if you're not equipped with the two necessary things, like a clear, a compelling goal and the energy to get there, I want to demotivate you not to go about it because you will probably fail and you will probably be disheartened. So basically, what you want is to have all the energy it takes. And let me tell you what that is. In order to thrive, in order to achieve something that is considered outside of your potential, but something that you truly want, all you need is more energy than your resistance. More energy than your resistance, meaning that the resistance that you have accepted as a fact. So I want to give you now three simple examples so that we can get fully attuned and we fully resonate with today's message, and so that you can appreciate the 5 by 5 to thrive method. Number one, you've seen this before if you follow me for a long time. What is the commonality in these two pictures that make all the difference? What is the commonality between the Fiat 500 and the Ferrari F80, which, by the way, I think starts from over $3 million in price? They have one thing in common that makes all the difference. Yes, they both have four wheels, for example, but I'm not talking about that. They have one thing in common that makes all the difference, and that is They are both very close to their initial blueprint. They are very close. And if you don't know it, Ferrari is owned by the Fiat Group. So let's just say that the Fiat engineers have access to all the secrets of the Ferrari engineers. But the Fiat engineers didn't try to make a Ferrari and failed. They tried to make a Fiat 500 and succeeded. And that makes all the difference in the world. So always remember that the outcome is always close to the blueprint that you set initially. Example number two. Do you want a life raft or a yacht? Because let me tell you now, 99%, I'm guessing, or 99.9% of you have already answered consciously, the yacht, the yacht. Do you know what? Your subconscious mind most probably is saying the life raft because you have a very strong desire, which goes back, like way back when. I don't know how back it goes, but it has to do with your survival. So your survival is a very strong desire. And that means that you are against any change because change means danger. And you want to survive more probably than what you want to thrive. So you will have to choose. You will either survive or thrive. You want to make sure that you are on the right page with your mind. You communicate to your subconscious mind that change does not necessarily mean danger. It means being in a better state. And this is all you have to do to communicate to your subconscious mind that you are doing this and it is okay. Example number three. What do you do when your success recipe at your favorite meal lacks something? So you might have a bite and say, oh, I think it lacks salt, right? What do you do? Do you complain like 100 times and say, there's not much salt in there, not much salt, not much salt? No, you just add salt. So, right now, what we are experiencing in the world in one word is uncertainty. So, what do? In uncertainty, you respond with more certainty. And since you cannot change your outer world, where do you find that certainty? You see, it's very easy. You look inside, and you better have the mental and emotional state to back what you say you want to achieve. Next, I want to remind you that yes, I am talking for many, many, many hours. Yes, I have been sending daily shots of inspiration since January 1st, 2015. So collectively, these words amount to tens of thousands, right? This is over more than 3,700 daily shots of inspiration by now. So, why am I telling you this? Because all we are talking about have to do with just three forces, the three forces that govern everyone's life, regardless of their height or their nationality or their age or their gender and so on. And that is where you focus on the wheel, the forces that pull you forward, like enthusiasm or belief, certainty, or love, gratitude, and the forces that pull you back, like regret, like jealousy, like anger, like fear, like disbelief. All these things pull you back. And if I may, I want to tell you a fourth story now. It has to do with the younger sister of my grandmother. And back in 1992, yes, we have to go way back now. In Greece, all the vehicles were very old. So the government took an initiative and did like a subsidy or something so that you can replace your clunker with a brand new car with much, much lower emissions, of course. And this is what she did. And of course, she didn't want to drive around Athens when she bought that car. She wanted to drive immediately back to her village, which was about 300 kilometers or some, I don't know, like 180 miles away. And what happened? Of course, my mother was so stressed that she would be driving a brand new car, which would be much faster. The engine was much quieter, so maybe she didn't realize what she was doing. And she was like desperately waiting for my aunt's call when she arrived at the village that everything was okay. And that call actually happened at some time, like a few hours later. And my mom was like, "Oh, is everything okay? Is everything okay with you and the car?" And she said, "Oh, don't worry, everything is fine. The car is amazing. Imagine how much better this car is and how much more powerful that I forgot to put down the handbrake, even though this was the case. I was going, like fast and smoothly." And I was I was back then so in love with cars. I knew everything, like all the parts and everything from all the vehicles by heart. And I said, "Oh, she ruined that car." Immediately, like in the first few miles, she ruined that car. But you know what? This story tells us about the handbrake that we have on in our lives. And all that resistance that we hold on to, maybe because we feel safe with it, or maybe because we don't want to bother, like feeling, like we did something wrong. And this resistance is most probably the reason why you feel, number one, depleted, and number two, disheartened. And you want to do something about it. And you want to do that now, if you truly want to reach your destination. And if you feel stuck even with a 4x4, this is when you want to take the 5x5. And the 5x5 method has to do with five emotional charges and five mental charges. The five emotional charges are: number one, perspective. You know the drill. I know. This is not new. You know the drill. Number one, perspective. That means that no matter what is going on in your life, the first thing that you want to do is shift your perspective because of two things. Number one, your emotions change and you feel that you're in control of your emotions. But most importantly, you feel, you remind yourself that you're in control of your thoughts no matter what is going on. So let's just say you are right now in debt with your business, or you're facing bankruptcy or a very dire situation, right? And you feel bad about it. We don't have to go to detail. All you have to do is find someone, ask yourself, is there someone with more debt than I am? Is there someone with an even more dire situation? Or can I Google, someone that did manage to survive a much, much worse situation and actually did manage to thrive a bit later on, because now I am game. Now I know it can be done for me as well. And now you can move on to the second exercise, and always remember that these exercises are carefully designed so that you can elevate the emotional ladder and you can put yourself in that desirable, happy, and unstoppable state, which is forgiveness. And forgiveness has to do with you, just you. It does not mean that you agree with what the other person did, or that you finally made peace with a certain situation. It means that you want to stop drinking the poison and wishing for someone else to die. It means that you love and respect yourself so much that you don't want that bitterness anymore. And now you're ready to practice the love exercise. And you always start with self love, because you cannot give something that you don't have. And the first thing that you want to do, if you are lower than that state, is as soon as we finish that masterclass, go look yourself in the mirror and just say to yourself, I love you. I mean it. I love you unconditionally. I am not expecting anything to happen. I just love you. And that is all it takes. And maybe, just maybe, give yourself a hug. Why do we hug babies? To communicate our love, to give them love. It's like you're putting into yourself into the love charge. This is how important that is. And if you feel that you're too macho to do it twice because you need that love. You need that energy so that you can achieve as easily and as fast as possible what you want to achieve. Number four, gratitude. And you put yourself in a state in what we call rampage or avalanche of gratitude or a vortex of gratitude. And you think of 20 things you're grateful for right now. And you start with the trivial ones that you might feel they are, like a bit neglected, like the oxygen that we breathe, without which we wouldn't be alive in just a few minutes' time, or the internet that keeps us connected right now and makes sure that we're having a nice conversation about our growth, right? Also, if you cannot find 20 things you're grateful for, find 30 because you want to demonstrate to yourself that no matter what is going on in your life, you can be grateful for. And if you think of 20 things you're grateful for, is the perfect time to find the 21st, which always is the happy landing exercise, number five. And the happy landing exercise, if you're new at this, is where you put yourself in a relaxed state, you close your eyes and see and feel yourself at your destination. You don't think of your destination, of your success. You think from your destination, from your success, having already achieved what you want to achieve. And this, uh, from my experience and my perspective, is the most powerful, the most effective action you can take any single day. Simply because you want to train yourself to that frequency to make it accessible and make it so known that your subconscious mind is fine by it. This is where you combine the ease that your subconscious mind is looking for, that survival mode to be, like to relax, that everything is okay, with you thriving. Because let me tell you this, the athletes are practicing, yes. So they're doing, like sit-ups and push-ups and everything. The champions, yes, they're doing their exercises, but they're practicing one thing, winning. They're practicing, like taking the trophy to the air, and they're practicing putting the gold medal on their chest. Nothing else, not silver, not bronze. The gold medal. It's the only thing that fits here in their mind, right? Sometimes they might fail, sometimes something can happen, but this is what they're practicing all day long. They're not saying to themselves, like, you're gonna end up number four this time in the Olympics. I'm gonna win. This is what you're practicing so that you can get as close as possible to your vision. Now, always remember that you always have 2 minutes to feel better. To feel better. Yes, because you know what? At the end of the year, at the end of this month, at the end of the semester, whatever, at the end of the decade, you will either achieve something or not. And if you look around, you will see that many goals are not being, like met. But you want to make sure that you're looking back and you are fine with the process, with the journey, because this is all you have. And I always, from the very beginning, this is one of my core distinctions. I want to make sure, mostly, my prime concern is not you achieving your goal. Yes, I care about that. I am envisioning, this is my happy landing. receiving a message from you, right? You've heard me say this many times before. What I truly care about is that you're happy and unstoppable right now. If you tell me, like Angelo, I'm stressed right now, I'm fearful, or when I am fearful, it's not my fear that I am that is the problem, is like allowing myself to be on that state, knowing that I can do better. So put yourself in the happy and unstoppable state now, and everything else will take care of itself. The five mental charges. Number one, super destination. And super destination means super clear and super compelling. Super clear and super compelling, meaning you have a strong why, meaning you jump off bed, you cannot wait to achieve that goal. Number two, super certainty. And part of that, which is like vital, is make sure that you make that distinction that when you're talking about a super goal or a super destination, it does not mean that it is a big goal. Because when you say I have a big goal, you know what you're saying? I'm small. I'm too small for this goal. And guess what? You will believe that. You say that many times over with feeling, with emotion, like I have a big goal. So I'm very small. So what you want to communicate to yourself is I have this super goal and it is done. This is certainty. Like I've heard this example from one of my mentors who says, like Elon Musk is not saying I have a big goal to go to Mars. He says, I'm going to Mars. Like I'm going to get, like the today's newspaper or something. And I don't know how he feels, of course. We've never met or anything, or he never shared to me how he feels about it. But the concept is that you cannot get closer to your vision if you call it, like impossible, or if you call it something that is out of your reach. You start from that state, and this is where synchronicities happen. This is where your consciousness permits the new ideas, like or a better engineer in that position, or like a breakthrough in that um, discipline to happen. That's all it takes. Next, super upgrades, laser targeted upgrades. You don't need like general education. For example, I love chess and I can spend today like 4 hours practicing chess, like playing in my smartphone. I've had some fantastic wins, like the other day, and I loved it. But you know what? I also love flying. And playing chess does not make me a better pilot at the end of the day. Make sure that your upgrades have to do with your number one priority, what you want to achieve in the next few months, let's say. This is how you thrive by putting all your focus and on your energy where it matters. Number four, super actions. And that means be effective. Effective, not massive action. Make sure that what you're doing moves the needle. I've had issues with massive action in the past. And you know what? Many times it led me to burnout, and many times because I thought that all I needed, was some enthusiasm and put all my mighty forces doing things. Like tweeting all day long in the past, like 15 years ago, when Twitter was, like really hot. And when my tweets were seen by thousands of people, no matter what I wrote or did. You know what? It wasn't enough because I wasn't caring about the effectiveness of my actions. And number five, super happiness in the process because this is where you become unstoppable. Remember, the emotional equivalent of the mental state of flow is happiness. It cannot happen any other way. This is where you get into that creative zone, where you get all these synchronicities. So consider this like a closed loop now, where you practice the five emotional charges and then the five mental charges, and round you go until you reach your destination. And if you feel that this is not enough, there is a cherry on top. It is the gift that I promise to you. It is something that I plan to do once, uh, unless it becomes such a remarkable success that I have to do again. But it's going to take a lot of my time, and all I am asking, basically, let me ask you this. What do you think that gift is? It is something that most of you asked for, and it is something that most of you said, I cannot afford it when you could, because what you want to achieve is much more valuable than what I asked. And by now, I think you know what the answer is my coaching, my support, my contribution, myself holding your mouth and giving you these insights, these nudges when needed, so that you can keep going, you can stay focused, right? So, what was the issue, of course, like the price point? Okay, let me tell you this. I want, I took Russell Brunson's advice and I have created an irresistible offer because I will give you the same level of Angelo and I will give you the same level of getting clarity and energy so that you can get there for just $1. And that is the ideal way to leap forward and thrive from May till July. 3 months of putting yourself on another level, 3 months of weekly Zooms for consistency and accountability, and also 24/7 ticket submission ticket. Because when you have an issue, when you're charged uh, with a lower emotional state because of something that happened, this is when you want to post. And that message, I will not respond like 24/7, right? But what matters is that by sending me that message, you send a message to yourself at the same time that you do not negotiate your vision. So always remember that during these 3 months, primarily you will practice the 5 by 5 method. Achieving your goal will be the cherry on top. The cake will be that you will have 90 days practicing the 5 by 5 method and getting more clarity, more energy, and get things done. This is what it matters. This is what we call success, right? Get it done. Get to that like sales level or get to that profit level of or whatever the goal is for you. And if you want to make that happen for you, if you want to invest $1 and a few hours of your time in your personal development and the success of what you call your number one priority, you can go now to angelolabru.com/GC1, which stands for Group Coaching for $1, basically. And of course, so that you cannot make any mistake typing or whatever and miss your priority position because the spots are limited. I will make sure to have this in the description so that you can click the link and make sure that you go to the right link. And all you need now is to make sure that you have suspended all your excuses because you cannot say, I cannot afford that coaching. So, what is it now then? Make sure that you suspend all your excuses because time will not be waiting for you. So, your homework is, regardless of your decision, I really hope that we will work together because the price point is not an issue anymore. So, yes, it will not be one-on-one coaching, but we will be working, on Zoom calls and we will all be accountable for each other's success. This is the game changer, taking advantage of group energy. So, your homework is apply the 5 by 5 to thrive method until number one, you reach your destination, or number two, you find a better method to like truly trust that it can take you even easier or even faster or both to the happiness and success you desire. And yes, full disclosure, you might find like if you look around you might find a method that will take you to success faster, but not to happiness and success. This is like my trademark. It's not, but it is. This is me. I want you to be happy along the way. I want you to fall in love with your life again. I want you to make sure that you remind yourself that this is all you have. And of course, going about what you truly want is what matters. But make sure that you're not giving away all your life for a happiness state that will never come in the future. This is where, like, Michael Phelps, with all the medals, became suicidal. This is where so many people who, like so many billionaires, are so unhappy, miserable. Why is that? They thought that achievement would lead to some level of success. Pursuit of happiness is like the worst goal ever. Get it now, and go about what truly matters. I'm not saying choose. I'm not saying forget about success, forget about your goals. I'm saying jump into the right vehicle because happiness is the best vehicle for success. Now, number two, open your gift. It's $1. It's not free for one reason. I want you to take that step. I want you to make it a conscious step and not just, like a sign up. Oh, okay, I signed up for this like masterclass as well. No, I want you to, and also just by going to angelolabrou.com/GC1, it puts you on the priority list and I will send you all the details, but you don't have to pay anything yet because I will give you like the full rules of engagement. And again, you might say no because I will give you like reasons to be in the next Zoom call and the next and the next. And if you don't do like very simple, trivial things that demonstrate your progress, you will not be in the next Zoom. So basically, the $1 is like a ticket for Zoom call one for our first meeting. This is all it is. And after that, we will be doing things together to demonstrate our commitment and also to demonstrate that we are truly going about it, that we are applying the 5 by 5 method. So, that said, I really hope to see you in the coaching call. Regardless, we will be seeing each other tomorrow morning with the next daily shot of inspiration. And of course, I want to leave you by reminding you that you deserve everything you want, and we all deserve your best self. Regardless if you apply the 5 by 5 to Thrive method or any other method, I want you to remember that and go about your best dreams, your super goals, and make your super life and your super business a reality. Ciao, ciao.